God bless America. Good morning, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the video that I alluded that I was going to make yesterday. It's coming out this morning. Thank you all for your patience. We're going to be talking about political strategy for 2018 because the Democrats are getting a little, shall we say, ambitious, a little, it's another word, not arrogant, but similar to arrogant, confident, there we go. The Democrats are getting a little confident in their excitement about the alleged blue wave that's supposed to be coming this November. Now, there have been, it feels like there's been a dozen special elections since November of 2016, but I don't think it's quite that many. And the results have been mixed. Every single special election that came up, we were told this is the one. This is going to demonstrate that America is ready to turn on Trump. We had Montana that Republicans won, and then that one wasn't that important because it was Montana. I mean, come on. Then we had Georgia, and that one wasn't that important because that one has been held by a Republican since living memory. So come on, that can't be that important. We had Virginia, the Virginia governor seat, which was a blue state in 2016, and everybody said, "Yeah, this is a big deal. We really need to pay attention to this." We had Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania one. No, Pennsylvania wasn't next. Alabama was next. In Alabama, something interesting happened. An ex-Democrat, a legitimate ex-Democrat, ran as a Republican, had a alleged history of sexual impropriety, and appeared to be the worst possible choice in hindsight for that Republican seat. And it ended up being flipped to Democrat. We haven't seen Democrats go with full-throated assaults on character citing sexual impropriety yet. I still think that it's coming for this November. Then we had Pennsylvania, a deep red Republican district, where a Republican who is calling himself Trump before Trump was cool ran against a Democrat who I've heard mixed signals on. The news sources that I trust more are saying he ran as a de facto conservative Republican, just on the Democrat ticket. And then, of course, the news sources that I don't trust have been saying this guy ran full-throated socialist Democrat. So I'm more inclined to think that he was running as more conservative than socialist, but I wasn't on the ground there. I haven't seen a lot of ads that he put out. The only thing I had to go on was his campaign website, which was neither conservative nor progressive in its message. It wasn't full bore either one. And now we've just had Arizona, a special election for one of Arizona's representative seats. I think it's AZ6. And the winner was Republican Debbie Lasko. I just realized I'm on the wrong tab. Anyhow, the winner was Republican Debbie Lasko. The mainstream media is proclaiming, because of these two paragraphs right here, that Republicans are and should be scared stiffless. That's not what I meant to say. Scared stiff for the November election. This was a district that Trump won by 21 points in 2016, and Lasko won by a 6-point margin. If 3 points had changed hands to the Democrat, it would have been a tie. That's how close this race was. There are a lot in the mainstream media comparing this race to the 2016 presidential turnout. And remember, you can't do that in every election until this one. You can't compare the turnout in off-year elections to presidential elections. So, one thing that I heard in regards to this election was that Lesko won the race, but didn't cash in on a lot of Trump votes. I want to say it was 1 million, but that's got to be too high. It was probably more like 100,000. There were 100,000 Trump voters that didn't vote in this election, period. So, it's indicative that Republican voters are not excited. And this is something that's been talked about a lot leading up to these different elections, is how excited the Democrats are to go out and vote. And that Republicans are just not that excited. And it's a phenomena of the winning party in the off year. The winning party always does bad in the off year. Just because the winning voters think, okay, we did our job, we got our president elected, we can sit back and rest on our laurels. And it might appear that is going to happen in 2018, in November this year, based on the way these elections have been going. But something else is happening at the same time. In conventional wisdom, Democrats do not run on the platform that they govern from. Democrats do. If Obama had run on a sluggish economy, a collapsing healthcare system, 8 constant years of warfare, and do I need another one? And a degradation of the American culture as we knew it for the previous 10 years. Do you think he would have won? Do you think a president who ran on sluggish economy, collapsing healthcare system, 8 constant years of warfare, and obliterating the culture of the previous 10 years would have won the election? Because that's not what Obama ran on. Obama ran on fixing the economy, fixing healthcare, hope and change, stopping war. None of those things happened, but that's what he ran on. Democrats do not run on the platform that they govern from, but they are starting to. I want to point out the Lesko's opponent in this race, Hiral Tipirneni. It can't be Nene. Tipirneni, I think is how it's pronounced. It's Indian. I apologize if I butchered it completely. But you go and look at her campaign page. Look at the issues. She campaigned, or it's on her campaign page, no fly, no buy for firearms. It's on her campaign page, Medicare for all. Those are 2 big progressive desires, progressive promises, campaign points. And that's what this congressional candidate campaigned on in Arizona. And this from Fox News, you've already seen the headline. Reparations income handouts, guaranteed jobs, the wet dreams of progressives are now being campaigned on by Democrats in mainstream campaigns. These are big name progressives. We talked about Bernie Sanders the other day with his Jobs for All. He's been campaigning on Medicare for all for a long time, but Jobs for All has entered his platform as of this year. Who are some of the other big names that are campaigning on these platforms? Christian Gillibrand, Democrat, New York, tweeted support for a jobs guarantee plan. saying it would help Americans. Cory Booker announced the Federal Jobs Guarantee Developer Act, which is the same thing as Bernie Sanders' plan. Andrew Yang, entrepreneur and Democrat presidential hopeful, told Fox Business Network Monday that he's proposing $1,000 a month for all citizens between the ages of 18 and 64, universal basic income program. It's getting to the point. And I don't think I've talked about this on this show before, but I know I've heard it talked about in other places. It's getting to the point where the Democrat base doesn't want Democrats to campaign to do whatever it takes to win in the campaign. They want Democrats to be honest progressives. They want their elected officials to be honest about what's coming. And the reason is their base is more and more becoming my generation, the millennials, many of whom believe that progressivism, socialism, social Darwinism, social Darwinism? The progressive culture, the progressive economics, they genuinely believe that it works. Previous generations of Democrat voters have at least believed that it might be the right thing to do, or that the rank and file many of the rank and file have always believed that it would work. Many in the leadership of the Democrat Party and the progressive wing have simply seek these policies as a means of control. But it's getting to the point where the more and more of the rank and file want Democrats to be honest. As I said, some of the rank and file that want progressives to be honest are getting to the age where they can run for office, and they can run on these policies genuinely believing that they work. Not to just control people, but genuinely believing that these policies work. And that is something that we haven't seen before in this country, is honest progressive socialists, honest communists running in mainstream political parties on what they're going to govern on. And fewer Democrats doing whatever it takes in the campaign to win so that they can do what they want in terms of governance, instead of running on what they're going to govern on. It's going to be an interesting election cycle. I bring up this and spend so much time on it because it's something that interests me. I like to think of myself as a politically savvy person, as an articulate fellow, as somebody that wouldn't do that badly if I decided to run a campaign. Of course, I can't know until I try, and I may never try, but I like to think of myself as being capable of that. And so when it comes to political strategy, it's something that interests me and that I want to talk about and dig deeper into. So, as I have been saying since we started seeing these special elections kick up, this is going to be an interesting election cycle. If you're a Republican voter and you're concerned about the Republican outcomes in November, here's something that you must understand. You're going to have to go and vote. You're going to have to think of this election as if we are down 5 points across the board, and that every single vote counts, especially yours. If you're a Democrat watching this, you're already ready to go vote. You're already prepared to do whatever it takes to get your candidates elected, because of course this is an out year for you. But for Republicans, you're going to have to get into the mindset that we're down, that we're down 1 percentage point, that your candidate is going to lose by 1 percentage point if you don't go vote in this election cycle. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you want to see more content like this. Come back this afternoon when we have our official video for the day. Until then, have a good day, and God bless.